Our last video will cover WebQuest examples and ways to generate ideas. In this last video, we're going to look at some examples of good web quests and also look at some websites that will help you generate ideas for creating your own web quest. I've already opened these pages in my browser, but just to show you how to open from the PowerPoint, let's do this first one. Just put your cursor over it and right click and go to Open Hyperlink and click on that. And that will open your web page up. Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint. I want to show you the Quest Garden website, which is a great place to look for good examples of web quests at different grade levels and subjects and so forth. We're going to start with the elementary age. We'll do a K through 2 art and music, and let's do a search in that. So let's look at this very first one. I'm interested in this. It's Gardner's Theory of Multiple Intelligences. We'll click on that. And you see over here they have the steps, just like we've learned in the previous videos about how to create a web quest. This would be your title and introduction page. And notice they have a graphic here. And though we will be doing ours in a Google Doc, you can see how they've laid it out on the page here. You can do the same thing in your Google Doc. So then they go to the task, and you can see a good example here. They show you graphics of these 9 intelligences that they're talking about in this web quest. And we'll go to the process page. And of course in the process they've got the steps for the student to take to go through the web quest. This looks like a lot of fun actually. Then we'll go to the evaluation and wait for that to load. Okay. And it looks like she has a rubric in this one, and telling the different levels that a student could score at based on the different criteria over here. And it gives you what that meeting each of those would look like and a place for the score. So that's a really good evaluation. And then we'll go to the conclusion. Okay, and so they're concluding their story. They're given a quote by Dr. Seuss here, which is very age appropriate. Then we'll go to our credits. And there we have our sources. So this is a great example for a K through 2 student. So let's go back now and look at another example for a higher grade level. Let's do a 6 through 8 middle school age. And let's do that in English Language Arts. Click the search button and we'll see what they come up with. Looks like they have a ton of them. So we'll just scroll down. Let's see here. We'll just scroll through here. Let's look at this one. Sea monsters and living fossils. Okay, again, this is a website format. They have the steps here. And we have a graphic, we have the introduction and the title. Go to task. Okay, see how simple that is? It doesn't have to be complex on your web quest. Depends on the subject. We have process, and Here we go with some graphics. It tells you different things, questions you need to answer, and so forth. The evaluation, another rubric, and conclusion. Okay, asking questions about what they learned. Some links. Okay, so that's an example of a middle school WebQuest. Let's pick grade 9 through 12. And let's look at technology. So, scroll down here. Let's see what looks interesting. Technology and agriculture. Let's look at that. Okay, it looks like a lot of these, maybe all of them for this website, are in this format here, which is really good. And like I said, you can cater your Google Doc to look like these pages, but it'll all be just scrolling down through your page. So this Google Doc, we have our title, our introduction, our author. We have the task with information about that and a graphic. We have your process. Tells you in order what they would like you to do. This is kind of like beginning, middle, and end. Then we have the evaluation, which is a rubric. We have conclusion. And we have the resources. So that would be a good example of a high school level WebQuest. And we'll look at one more. We'll look at an adult one. And let's go to business and economics for that. Let's see what we shall look at here. How to open your own restaurant. That looks pretty good. Okay, so we have this. Title, author, introduction. Go to the task page. Give you some information about how to go about doing this WebQuest. Gives you the process, step by step, with some graphics. This looks interesting. I love this. And then we'll go to evaluation and conclusion. And, and then credits. Okay, so that's a great example for an adult. So that covers, you can go through the rest of these on your own, but that gives you an idea of how to do a search online. This is called Wonderopolis. It's basically questions that students, children, people in general would ask, and lots of information to answer those questions. It's things that make people think, and it could really give you some great ideas to create a WebQuest from. Then we have, this is the National Endowment for the Humanities website, and they've got all these different subject areas. Let's go to art and culture, and you've got articles and things you can click on to learn more about. All kinds of ideas there. Then we have the Smithsonian's History Explorer, where you can look under your resource type, like if you wanted, let's say you wanted some lessons and activities, grade level 3 through 5, maybe 68 to the present. Let's do it in the history area. And then you just do a search, and we'll see what comes up here. Okay, so here's an interesting one right here, Teaching 911. Design your own performance. So there's some great ideas. And we've got eliminations, which is, again, another place you can put in different criteria and do a search. We've got Read, Write, Think, which is the International Literacy Association. Can find all kinds of ideas here, different grade levels, different areas. And then we've got the National Geographic Society. That would be interesting for study of nature, animals, and such. We've got the Science Net Links, which is finding science lessons and tools for grades K through 12. So that could generate some really good ideas. So there you have some ways of generating ideas and some examples of some really good web quests to look at and implement those ideas into your web quests.